So the Olympics for me way surpassed my expectations. I think going into it, read a lot of like negative press online, and I think people maybe seemed a bit underwhelmed by the opening ceremony. But I mean, going into it, it was unbelievable. Like the level of organisation. I think the look and feel of the games was just unbelievable. Like the design, the presentation. I think I've seen a lot of stuff written online about, they left a lot of money on the table by not having sponsorship graphics at the stadiums. But for me, I think it made a really premium product, like similar to a Wimbledon almost. So I personally love the fact that everything wasn't plastered in sponsorship logos. Something else that exceeded my expectations were the kind of cultural Olympiad. From the Olympic Museum, there was all sorts of free activations and museums on the grounds telling the story of the history of the Olympics. There was an art exhibition called Art of the Olympics that I went to. The most innovative thing I saw, there was a couple of things. I think the hospitality houses on the ground, which are essentially like these experiential activations. It was the first time at any games that these have been opened up to the public. So it was a really great way to go around, and there was food, different food options. I went to Mongolia House where there was a live singing and dancing. And I think it was a great way of essentially creating a cross-cultural feel of all the nations coming together. And I just think otherwise sometimes you're only just cheering on your own nation. And I think it's a really good way to really bring that cultural melting pot. The other piece I saw was, that was really innovative, I think, was the Alibaba 360 camera activation, promoting their cloud technology. I think you saw on the broadcast, you had these 360 replays, but then also that was activated as an experiential activation where fans could get a volumetric recording themselves as a memento, doing various different Olympic sports. And I just thought it was a really kind of thoughtful way to create a multi-channel activation. What would I do differently for LA? I think from a kind of in-person fan experience, if they can maintain the same standard, then they're doing an amazing job. Maybe where you could improve is in some of the digital elements. I'd love to see a bit more use of kind of 3D technology, the volumetric tracking for replays, for broadcast enhancements, and for other kind of more interactive fan engagement experiences. A microsite or an interactive experience where fans could explore 3D replays. And I think just building on that element would be great. And then also love to see a bit more on the kind of digital collectible side of things. So every fan could claim a free commemorative ticket collectible for a couple of pounds. But how can you build on that kind of collectible experience for fans? Could you have some way of integrating the 3D replays as part of a memento that every fan in the stadium could collect? So I think continuing to build on the digital fan experience, because the physical fan experience was second to none.